Hi guys, and welcome on Cheaters and Jerks. This channel is about real-life cheating stories and consequences.
I wake up to the gentle warmth of sunlight streaming through the curtains. Stretching lazily, I take a deep breath, inhaling the familiar scent of our home, a mix of lemon cleaner and freshly brewed coffee. It's early in the week, and the house is quiet, save for the soft hum of the air conditioning. Padding barefoot across the cool, polished floors, I make my way downstairs. The silence wraps around me like a comfortable blanket. I pause at the bottom of the stairs, listening for any sign of Dennis. Nothing. He's probably holed up in his office already, I think to myself. Or maybe he went out for an errand. I shrug it off, not really caring either way. I wander from room to room, running my fingers along the pristine surfaces. Everything is in its place, neat and orderly, just the way Dennis likes it, just the way I've learned to keep it. I should feel satisfied, I guess. This is what I signed up for, right? A stable home, a dependable husband, a life free from worry. As I settle onto the couch with a steaming mug of coffee, I can't help but feel a twinge of something, boredom, restlessness. I push the feeling away. This is fine. Everything's fine. Days pass in a blur of routine. Wake up, clean, maybe run an errand or two, watch some TV, go to bed. Rinse and repeat. It's not exciting, but it's comfortable. Safe. Then Matthias shows up again. He's been coming by to handle some repairs around the house. Today, he's here to check the pipes in the guest bathroom. I hover near the doorway, watching as he kneels by the sink, his strong hands working deftly with the tools. Everything okay in here? I ask, trying to sound casual. Matthias looks up, flashing me a grin that makes my stomach do a little flip. Just about done, Mrs. Andrea. These old pipes can be tricky, but I think I've got 'em sorted. I nod, not really listening to his words. My eyes are fixed on the way his shirt clings to his chest, damp with sweat from his work. He stands up, pulling off his work gloves, and I can't help but stare at his forearms, corded with muscle. Well, thank you for coming by, I say, my voice a little breathier than I intended. We really appreciate your help. Matthias steps closer, and I catch a whiff of his scent, a heady mix of soap and sweat. Always happy to help, he says, his voice low. Anything else you need while I'm here? I swallow hard, suddenly aware of how quiet the house is. No sign of Dennis anywhere. No footsteps upstairs, no creaking floorboards, not even the sound of his keyboard clacking away in his office. Before I can think better of it, I reach out, letting my fingertips graze along Matthias's arm. His skin is warm, almost electric to the touch. Actually, I say, looking up at him through my lashes, there might be one more thing. Matthias's eyes darken, and he takes another step closer. We're barely inches apart now, and I can feel the heat radiating off his body. Yeah, he murmurs. What's that? I smile, slow and deliberate, my whole body thrumming with the excitement I haven't felt in years. Why don't you come upstairs and I'll show you? For a moment, we just stand there, the air between us crackling with tension. Then Matthias nods, a slow grin spreading across his face. Lead the way, he says. As I turn to head upstairs, my heart racing, I don't even spare a thought for Dennis. He's probably not even home, I tell myself. And even if he is, he's too wrapped up in his work to notice anything. This is just a bit of fun, a little excitement to break up the monotony of my days. What harm could it do? I have no idea of the storm that's about to break over our carefully constructed life. In this moment, all I can think about is the thrill of Matthias's presence, the promise of something new and exciting. For the first time in ages, I feel truly alive. I wake up to the familiar hum of the ceiling fan, the scent of last night's dinner still lingering in the air. Dennis's side of the bed is empty, the sheets cool to the touch. I strain my ears, but the house is quiet. No clattering of keys or hum of the coffee grinder. I figure he's probably holed up in his office, buried under spreadsheets and reports. I stretch. the sunlight slicing through the half-drawn curtains, casting long shadows across the room. Another day in paradise, I think, kicking off the sheets. I pad downstairs, the house echoing that familiar emptiness. I make myself a cup of coffee, the routine so ingrained I could do it blindfolded. I take a sip, the bitter taste jolting me awake. As I'm loading the dishwasher, I hear the crunch of gravel under tires. I glance out the window, seeing Matthias's beat-up truck pulling in. A thrill runs through me, a secret excitement that's become my daily dose of adrenaline. I smooth my hair, tug at my shirt, making sure it sits just right. "Hey," I say, opening the door before he can knock. He grins, his eyes sweeping over me. "Hey, yourself." "Come on in." I step aside, letting him pass. He's got that scent of sawdust and sweat, a masculine musk that's become intoxicating. "What's on the agenda today?" he asks, his voice a low rumble. "The fixture over the bed needs looking at," I say, leading him upstairs. I can feel his eyes on me, the heat of his gaze. It's a dangerous game we're playing, but I can't stop myself. I don't want to. In the bedroom, he sets his toolbox down, turns to face me. I can see the hunger in his eyes, the same hunger that's been gnawing at me all morning. I reach for the hem of my shirt, pull it over my head. His breath hitches, his gaze raking over my bare skin. "You sure about this?" he asks, but his voice is rough, his pupils dilated. "Would I be doing this if I wasn't?" I reply, my fingers toying with the waistband of my shorts. He steps closer, his hands finding my hips. I can feel his calluses, rough against my smooth skin. I lean into him, my breath hitching as his fingers trace the curve of my spine. "Your husband," he starts, but I cut him off. "Won't be a problem," I assure him, my voice steady. He's probably buried in work, oblivious to the world. Matthias's hand still, his brow furrowing. "And if he's not?" I shrug, a smirk playing on my lips. "Then I guess we'll have to be quiet, won't we?" He grins, his thumbs hooking into my waistband. He tugs, the fabric giving way. I step out of them, kicking them aside. His eyes never leave mine as he sinks to his knees, his hands tracing a path up my thighs. The room is silent, except for our ragged breaths. The house holds its breath, the usual creaks and groans absent. I tangle my fingers in Matthias's hair, my head falling back. His touch is rough, desperate, a stark contrast to Dennis's gentle caresses. As the afternoon wears on, the room grows hotter, the air thick with humidity and our mingled breaths. I push Matthias back, a wicked grin spreading across my face. I stride over to the corner of the room, grab the wooden mop leaning against the wall. I can feel Matthias's eyes on me, confusion and lust warring in their depths. "Andrea, what are you doing?" he asks, his voice hoarse. I don't answer, just straddle the mop handle, my hips twisting. It's crude, absurd, but there's a thrill in it, a power I can't deny. I laugh, the sound catching in my throat. Matthias watches, transfixed, his breath coming in ragged gasps. I use the mop handle instead of Matthias, my spine arching, my breath coming in short, sharp pants. It's a twisted dance, but it's a dance I control. The room is a blur of sunlight and sweat, the air thick with my gasps and Matthias's heavy breaths. I feel alive, untouchable, like I could command the very walls of this house. And in that moment, with the sun streaming through the windows and the house silent around us, I believe it. I believe I can do anything, have anything, and Dennis will never know. Because how could he, when the house itself seems to be holding its breath, keeping my secret safe within its walls? I hear the door before I see it. The sound of splintering wood sends a jolt through my body, and I jerk my head up just in time to see our bedroom door fly open with such force that the chair by the dresser skids across the floor. Dennis stands there, framed in the doorway. His shoulders heave with each breath, and his face... God, I've never seen him look like that before. It's not anger. It's not even rage. It's something primal, almost inhuman. Before I can even react, I feel Matthias scramble off me in a panic, Shit! He hisses under his breath. I watch, frozen, as he half dives, half stumbles toward our bathroom. The door slams behind him, leaving me alone to face Dennis. My heart hammers in my chest as I roll off the bed, tangling myself in the sheets. I struggle to free myself, acutely aware of how exposed I am. Dennis's body is rigid, his fists clenched so tight I can see the whites of his knuckles. Then he roars. It's not a human sound, more like a wounded animal. The raw pain in it makes me flinch. I can taste fear in my mouth, metallic and sharp. My eyes dart to the bathroom door. I strain to hear something, anything, the sound of Matthias trying to escape through a window maybe. But there's nothing, just terrified silence. Dennis storms forward. He grabs the bedside lamp and hurls it at the mirror. The crash is deafening, and shards of glass spray across the floor like deadly confetti. I watch him warily as he kicks aside the mop handle Matthias must have brought up earlier. He nearly trips on the rumpled sheets, and for a moment, I think he might fall. But he doesn't. The cords in his neck stand out, pulsing with each labored breath. I've never seen him like this. So out of control, so dangerous. Our bedroom transforms into a war zone before my eyes. Dennis overturns furniture, yanks open drawers, and flings their contents everywhere. Clothes, books, knickknacks. Nothing is safe from his fury. I try to appear unbothered by it all. I level my gaze at him, stepping carefully over the broken glass. My bare feet sting, but I ignore it. I jerk my chin up defiantly, as if he's the one who's lost his mind. God, I wish I could hear Matthias. Is he even trying to get out? The silence from the bathroom is unnerving. I realize that intimidation might be my best defense here. I stride across the wrecked room, glaring at Dennis with what I hope is a mixture of contempt and boredom. What the hell is wrong with you? I hiss, stomping through the debris. Shards of wood and fabric crunch under my feet. I lift my hands not to calm him, but to show my annoyance. As if he's the one overreacting. As if he's being unreasonable for barging in like this. I shoot a glare at the bathroom door. Damn it, Matthias. Why isn't he coming out to back me up? I whip my gaze back to Dennis, silently daring him to justify this insane jealousy. I hold my head high, trying to shame him with my body language, my hunger, my desires. They shouldn't be restricted. How dare he act like this? But then Dennis turns and leaves the room. My bravado falters for a moment. What is he doing? He returns a moment later with a stack of papers. Thick, official-looking documents that he slams down onto the battered bedside table. A cloud of dust rises from the impact. My heart thudding, I step closer to look, and then I see it. The shape, the weight of those papers, I know exactly what they are. Divorce papers. My facade crumbles like the shattered mirror on the floor. I can't hear Matthias anymore. No movement, no attempts to come out and face this with me. The realization hits me like a punch to the gut. I'm alone in this. Panic claws at my throat. I want to grab those papers, to tear them up, to make them disappear. I need to find the right words, the right gestures, to calm Dennis down, to make this all go away. I try to move closer to him, softening my eyes. My mouth forms silent apologies, but no sound comes out. But Dennis, he's like a statue, rigid, unyielding, and in his eyes I see something that terrifies me more than his rage ever could. Finality. He's done with me. Really, truly done. Without a word, Dennis turns and stomps out of the room. The bedroom door frame cracks as he pushes past it. I hear his footsteps echoing down the hall, followed by the jangle of keys. Dennis, wait! I finally find my voice, but it's too late. I try to follow him, stumbling over the chaos he's left behind. Ripped sheets tangle around my ankles. Scattered clothes trip me up. I ignore the crunch of broken glass under my feet, the sting as it cuts into my skin. I trip once, catching myself on the dresser. As I right myself, I see movement out of the corner of my eye. The bathroom door is cracked open now, and Matthias is slipping out. His eyes are wide with fear, and he doesn't even look at me as he darts down the hall, probably heading for some side exit. desperate to escape this nightmare. The sound of the front door slamming shut echoes through the house. Dennis is gone. Matthias is gone. My legs give out and I sink down onto the ruined bed. Sobs rack my body, making my ribs ache. I'm alone now. No husband, no lover, just a wrecked room and those awful final documents. The silence crushes me. The familiar scents of our bedroom, my perfume, Dennis's aftershave, are gone, replaced by the acrid smell of dust and broken glass. The bitterness of shattered promises hangs in the air. Everything I thought I had control over has slipped through my fingers. And now, abandoned and terrified, I'm left to face the consequences of the mess I've made. 4 months. It's been 4 months since that day when everything fell apart. Now, here I am, about to face the consequences of my actions. The weight of it all feels suffocating. I stand in the courthouse hallway, my heart pounding like it's trying to escape my chest. The smell of stale coffee and floor polish hits my nose, making me feel slightly nauseous. The harsh fluorescent lights cast an unflattering glow on everything and everyone, including me. I smooth down my blouse for the 100th time, trying to calm my nerves. I scan the hallway, looking for Dennis. He has to be here somewhere, but I can't see him yet. Maybe he's behind one of these heavy wooden doors, waiting for the proceedings to begin. The thought makes my stomach churn. Attorneys bustle past me, their arms full of thick files. They speak in hushed tones, but I catch snippets of their conversations. Words like settlement and division of assets float through the air, reminding me of the stark reality I'm facing. A judge's gavel cracks in the distance, making me jump. The sound echoes through the halls, a harsh reminder of what's to come. A bored-looking bailiff shuffles past, barely glancing in my direction. I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself. This isn't how I imagined my life would turn out. The warmth and laughter of my marriage seem like a distant memory now, replaced by cold legal terms and the scrutiny of strangers. "Andrea!" a voice calls out, startling me from my thoughts. I turn to see my attorney, Sarah, approaching with a grim smile. "Are you ready?" she asks, her tone gentle but firm. I nod, not trusting my voice. Sarah leads me towards one of the courtroom doors, her hand on my elbow, as if she's afraid I might bolt. As we reach the door, it swings open, and there he is. Dennis. Our eyes lock for a brief moment, and the pain and anger I see in his gaze make me flinch. He looks away quickly, jaw clenched, and moves past us without a word. "Let's go," Sarah murmurs, guiding me into the courtroom. The room is smaller than I expected, with dark wood paneling and uncomfortable-looking benches. I spot Dennis and his attorney already seated on one side. My legs feel like lead as I make my way to the other side with Sarah. As we sit, I can't help but steal glances at Dennis. He looks tired, with dark circles under his eyes and a slight slump to his shoulders. But there's also a hardness to his expression that I've never seen before. It makes my chest ache, knowing I'm the cause of it. The judge enters, and we all rise. As he begins to speak, outlining the proceedings, I find myself drifting, my mind wandering back to happier times. How did we end up here? How did I let things go so wrong? "Mrs. Wilson," the judge's voice cuts through my thoughts. "Do you understand the terms of the settlement as they've been presented?" I blink, realizing I've missed something important. Sarah leans in, whispering, "Just say yes, Andrea. We've gone over this." Yes, Your Honor," I stammer, feeling completely out of my depth. The judge nods, his expression unreadable. "And Mr. Wilson, do you agree to these terms?" I turn to look at Dennis, holding my breath. He pauses for a moment, his eyes meeting mine briefly before he responds, "Yes, Your Honor." The proceedings continue, a blur of legal jargon and formalities. I answer when prompted, sign where I'm told, but it all feels surreal, like I'm watching someone else's life fall apart instead of my own. Finally, after what feels like hours, the judge speaks the words that make it all too real. Based on the evidence and agreements presented, this court grants the dissolution of marriage between Dennis Wilson and Andrea Wilson. The gavel comes down with a resounding crack, and just like that, it's over. My marriage, the life I thought I'd have forever, gone in an instant. As people start to move around me, gathering papers and preparing to leave, I remain frozen in my seat. Sarah touches my arm gently. Andrea, we're done here. Do you need a moment? I shake my head, not trusting myself to speak. As I stand on shaky legs, I catch sight of Dennis again. He's talking quietly with his attorney, his back to me. Part of me wants to go to him, to try one last time to explain, to apologize. But I know it's too late for that. We file out of the courtroom, the tension thick in the air. In the hallway, Dennis turns to me, his expression unreadable. Good luck, Andrea, he says, his voice flat. And then he's gone, walking away without a backward glance. I stand there, watching him disappear around a corner, feeling like I've lost a part of myself. The finality of it all crashes over me in waves, leaving me breathless. This is it. This is my new reality. As I make my way out of the courthouse, the bright sunlight feels like an insult. How can the world look so normal when everything has changed? I pause on the steps, unsure of where to go or what to do next. The future stretches out before me, vast and uncertain, and for the first time in a long time, I feel truly alone. Hey everyone! If you found this story gripping and want more jaw-dropping tales, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. Always in the loop. Always in the loop.